People think it is. It's not. All Starbucks are company owned. They started their own franchise brand. Oh gosh.
Seattle's Best.
What's the?
Seattle's Best, maybe? Is that?
No, it's the other one. Maybe it is Seattle's Best. Yeah, it is Seattle's Best. Yeah, they built out their stores and they said we can't grow anymore as Starbucks. We have all these company stores. We're making a fortune on them. We don't want to give them up. Everybody wants franchises. They started the second.
So regardless, it's not a franchise, Disney's not a franchise.
Yeah.
But Starbucks is selling experience, they're not selling coffee.
Exactly.
Well, what is it exactly? What is it that they're doing? I mean, what would you describe? Why do I go to Starbucks instead of Dunkin' Donuts?
I'll ask you the same question. Why do you go to Starbucks instead of Dunkin' Donuts?
I guess the clientele that's there, it's just a snobbishness, I guess. I feel as if I'm going to Starbucks, it makes me a little bit better. To go down to Dunkin' Donuts, it's like I'm a loser in there. What do you say?
I think you just decided their marketing strategy.
You're the teacher, I want to know what, I want to hear from you.
Somebody who is smarter than all of us in this room is a marketing strategy said, you know what, we're going to build a marketing strategy for Starbucks. And it includes being higher priced, creating an environment, and we're going to make sure that people go in there feel like they're just a little bit better than their Dunkin' Donuts people.
They have bookshelves.
That's probably written somewhere in a marketing strategy.
I mean, it's interesting. I would be embarrassed to take a woman to Dunkin' Donuts. I'm not embarrassed to take her to Starbucks. And I'm not exactly sure why that is.
Probably ask yourself that. That's next week.
I think that's what a lot of people feel. I think that's why they do so well.
You know what, I'll tell you a great marketing story, and I know this is a little off task, but everybody knows who Anheuser-Busch is? Right? Okay.
I've seen that going for coffee.
Everybody aware of the brand Budweiser? In the 1950s, Anheuser-Busch was a very, very small regional brewery out of St. Louis. They had a couple of products. They marketed in probably 6 or 7 states in the Midwest. And during the 1960s, there was no such thing as a national brand of beer. They were all Hams and Schaefer and Rheingold and Coors and all regional breweries. Anheuser-Busch being one of them. Some marketing genius within the Anheuser-Busch family said, you know what, we can be a national brand. And we can do this on the back of Budweiser. So the strategy was, all right, well, we know it's going to take a long time. So through the 1960s and through the 1970s, all of the marketing that was done at Anheuser-Busch revolved around Bud. Budweiser, Bud. Clydesdales became an integral part of their marketing strategy. Everything was red, white, and blue, carnival-y, okay? All their marketing through focus groups was driven to kids between 6 and 10 years old. Bud, 3 words, 3 letters, Bud, Bud, Bud. As the 70s came around, all those kids grew into be drinking age. And back then, television commercials were you could advertise beer and cigarettes and anything else you wanted on TV. So they marketed, all of their promotional stuff was done football games, baseball games, television ads, have a Bud, have a Bud, have a Bud, have a Bud. Very long, long strategy. So as those kids through the 1970s started coming back from Vietnam War, okay, all that stuff was Bud, Bud, Bud. So when all those guys and gals started coming back from the war in the late 60s or early 70s, they went into a bar and said, give me a Bud. Success story.
Incredible.
Starbucks. Somebody in Starbucks said, you know what? We got coffee. Who ever heard of a national? Dunkin' Donuts wasn't a national brand 10 years ago. So somebody smarter than all of us made those conscious decisions to say, we want to be a national brand. How do we develop the strategy? Who are we? What's our strategic objective? How are we going to get there? What's our management strategy? Onward and onward and onward. I'll tell you one more story later. When you get into franchises, if you Google franchise opportunities, I think you probably get close to 15 million hits. There are so many of them. There's the top list, the best list, the fastest growing list. I mean, there are more franchise lists in the world. Consumers, you know, they look at websites and brochures. Every one of them is sales driven. You have to be careful. And there's a system to find the right fit. So, I get challenged with this a lot because people, again, I get 8, 10 inquiries a week for Dunkin' Donuts. They're sold out. You can't buy it. I get Starbucks. Oh, Chick-fil-A. It's not a franchise. I mean, I want to buy a Burger King. 82% of all the Burger Kings in the United States are owned by one company, Carroll Enterprises out of Buffalo, New York. You couldn't buy a Burger King if you liked it. They never make it to the open market. So what's the system? This could take anywhere from 2 months to a year. It could be a long process, and you can control the timing and the tempo if you want to. But you go back, you analyze your lifestyle needs. We talked about that earlier. We analyze our business goals. What do we want to be? We analyze our financial position and our future goals. We determine what type of business, whether it's a fun business, you know, I've got $100,000, I want to be in the food business, or I want to be in the home repair industry, I've got $50,000. So you're starting to narrow down what your likes and don'ts like. There's lots of confidential questionnaires that are out there. That's something that I do, but I can't talk about that. We can research applicable franchises. How do you do that? You get great information online. There's a website, if you want to write it down. It's called Blue, B-L-U-E, Mau, M-A-U, Blue Mau. On that site, it's kind of a .com. It's kind of a I think you have to sign up as a user to get in there. But you'll find lots of information about the positive and negatives about specific franchises. You'll find their SBA failure rate on their loans as one example. You'll see people will blog about positive and negative experiences there. So there's a lot of facts and data that's in there if you want to look at individual research about a specific franchise.
Pardon me,
Yes.
it's Mau,
Mau.
M-A-U,
Blue Mau.
all one word, Blue Mau.